Good morning, guys. I did not get to finish game 3 for KC versus TL because I was busy, scrims, cooking, a whole bunch of stuff. So we're back at it. Now, game 2, KC had a solo lane gap, and that was with Impact being on Mbessa, who definitely can beat Camille in a 1v1, so he kind of just got outplayed. And APA was absolutely destroyed. It was not close. This game, Canna is again, for the second time in this series, on a counter pick. So they're giving him a little bit more focus. The only thing is, what really sucks against playing TL is that even though you can counter pick Impact, he's the kind of player that will always have, quite like his name, an impact. Like, he will be involved in the game in some way or somehow, regardless if he's behind. Canna was ahead and was really not involved at all in the game that he played in the first game, which was a problem. Umti, he has an advantage. It's Nocturne versus Xin Zhao. Yes, like Xin Zhao can beat Nocturne, but typically Nocturne is like, if he gets on top of you, it's a bad time. This can be like this, honestly. It really just depends. Like, technically, Talia will be having edge over Ahri, but the Ahri can like beat her, right? And the 2v2 overall, this like lanes will be very, very important for them, for how they play the rest of the game, because this guy wants to grow a self-advantage against him, and then they want to grow a self-advantage about them, and that requires them both to kind of like attack them under the turret. And of course, if both teams go bot lane, because let's say like Xin Zhao's like, well, our bot lane's getting ran, and if this happens again, we're screwed. And the Nocturne should just path bot. Like, he's probably not going to path top, he's probably going to path bot. Which then leaves the Gnar to just do what he wants to do normally, without any jungle interaction. And that's probably beneficial for KC. Notice they also put a ward in the bot bush. They've not had bot bush control the entire series from the level 1. So they're finally adapting, which is good by KC.
You highlighted Kobe, this top lane matchup, same as it's been in games 1 and 2. Expected to be Gnar favorite. Different impact on the Cassandre, like, has been a rock for TL in so many games, across now so many years of gameplay. It's been so consistent. So keeping weather the storm, similar to how he did in game 1.
So let's see what they do.
Gnar can't snowball, but it's not just Camille in terms of immediate reliable pressure. I want to highlight the Lucian Nami as well, because we've had a lot of different iterations, as you'll have to see it, here between Canna and Impact. That international game stat for Impact never gets old. And again, we sold there for Canna. It's so easy to
okay, so Force missing a bunch of W's.
In 2021 finals and making it with the core roster, obviously later would go on to have a large amount of success. But we're currently on the iteration of Lucian Nami, where early on they're decent.
That was really good by core that time. They get pushed. This was obvious. They're both pathing bot the junglers. Again, obvious. They ward. They know they ward. Technically, based on this ward that they did they know where Nami warded? They do. Ooh, there's an opportunity here. Okay, so technically Xin Zhao could walk around this way and gank. And if it looks good, then it will kind of offset the game really well. Because there's no way that this guy has moved to ward here. And if he late warded, is it possible for him to late ward? I mean, because the ward lasts 90 seconds, right?
Years ago. 1 and 2 expected to for TL.
I mean,
so many games across.
He doesn't. The problem is Ahri doesn't actually know if he did or not. And technically, he could have. And so it would end around 3 minutes, and that's like when Xin Zhao would be moving through the area. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate. Because like, if they had an idea, especially if they wanted to do an early gank down here, like Ahri could just be hovering the right side, because the enemy's never going to invade top side. I think that's very bold and unlikely. So if you could see if there's a ward placed level 1 in this area, and they already had a bot ward, no ward, okay, I can do this play on bot. And it's pretty nice. I mean, like, seriously, you get their sums, you like make the lane easier for your bot lane.
The extra tri-brush ward here will
You
also
have a very
provide
winning
enough,
chance.
safety for them to finish off their
But
wave towards the tower and get the punch
they
back.
didn't do it.
And Yeon actually went for PTA. So usually what we've seen recently with Lucian Nami is the first strike, right? Ever since we went to the one-item spike build.
They're holding their own pretty well.
PTA is going to give you a ton of extra
Some
damage
good
in lane
trades.
consistently. It doesn't make sense that they want to try and play towards it, but that sustain of that Yumi is a
Ooh, I mean, the bot lane's now actually finally starting to compete.
We're bringing through a lot of mana to make sure the health stays relatively close.
Wow, look at that.
Finally a chance to fire back after 2 miserable laning phases, and you'll find it there for send packing the W, the ultra shot.
Oh, they all played the shit out of them. How did he get so low though?
Now you can see the pings
'Cause he's
are going
full
down
HP
as well
here.
on the bottom side. Buff camps there.
Yeon just overforces it. I mean, like, for one, he probably shouldn't be standing in a way that's him being hit by a Yumi
their
Q.
early presence and getting that ward and fully tracking.
Ooh.
The Xin Zhao on
And
the
they're
way
doing
down,
this
so
without
that
level
Yeon
3. They're
and
just doing it at
JJ
level
could
2.
try and get these trades off early on, but the extra tri-brush ward here will also provide enough.
And also,
safety
of
for
course,
them to
mana
finish
is
off
too
their
low, so they didn't do
wave
enough
towards the tower and
damage.
get the punch back.
And Yeon actually went for PTA. So usually what we've seen recently with Lucian Nami is the first strike, right? Ever since we went to the one-item spike build, we basically just calling bot. But PTA is going to give you a ton of extra damage in lane if you're able to proc it consistently.
That was good. Also, you notice
PTA is
Yeon's
gonna
now playing more scared instead of in their face, so Caliste actually takes advantage at the E forward. They get
that
pushed.
sustain of that Yumi is a nightmare to deal with.
Yeah. Very frustrating. You already have the combat spell advantage for any Yumi duo. Beyond level 3 alongside
I mean, Corejj, like, Corejj missed at least like 3 or 4 Nami Ws. Okay, I just wanted to rewatch it just a little bit. I know it's like, we're only 340 in and 6 minutes watched. This kind of comb through the ideas, but Yeon did not play that lane well. He did not play that well, and neither did Core. Like, both of them did not do the right thing. And I have to say, these guys actually played this pretty well. There's Zeri Yumi, so well played. Really well played by them. They get a self-advantage, which gets them the crab, and now there's no issue towards what's happening bot. Because up to the point where Yeon boards, they're in trouble. It's only after Yeon starts making mistakes, and of course Core like used a lot of mana that didn't do too much.
That's why you're really worried about early money on the Zeri. It's just so hard because there is no guaranteed CC, right? Like no less than 5. One of the big reasons why 5 starts to come back in the first place is Yeon still going.
Oof.
That's why you're really
Man, we
about
have an
early
advantage in
money
bot,
on
but
the
we
Zeri.
actually got traded
hard
so
because there is
hard.
No guaranteed CC, right? Like no less than 5.
Ah, he's being too bold, surely.
One of the big reasons why 5
And his W got blocked by the minion
CC,
because of the
right? Like, no
aggro.
less
Because he
than
hit him,
5.
so the minions pull.
One of the big reasons
He can't hit the W.
why 5 started to come back in the first place is Yeon still going.
Ouch,
They have no
ouch.
sums left. Bubble goes in, but just barely misses. Caliste able to walk away.
That sucks.
But it's still close. And I think Yeon and Corno,
That definitely sucks.
They can still do a lot of work in the 2v2 trades. That first kill, it's gonna hurt in the long run, but right now.
Damn, they couldn't cancel the base either. But it's not it's not the greatest time to base unless Impact is basing TP and bot, which he should have done earlier. So they're just gonna sack a bot wave to make this happen.
And I think Yeon and Corno.
Still going. One of the big reasons why 5
What was Core doing in this situation?
No guaranteed CC, right? Like no less than 5. One of the big reasons why 5 started to come back in the
Core doesn't have
first
flash.
place is Yeon still going.
Yeon trying to keep this one going. They have no sums left. Bubble goes in, but just barely.
First place is Yeon still going.
Yeon trying to keep this
Oof. I mean, I wonder what happens if he tries to Q the Yumi. Because Caliste can't just walk back up.
going. They have no sums left. Bubble goes in, but just barely misses. Caliste able to walk away. It's still close. And I think Yeon and Corno trades that
Back there. Because Umti
Well, they're not basing on a like this base timer is not really the most ideal. It does give another advantage towards Caliste,
They're dropping a whole wave to go over there.
but it does mean they get to do this swap top.
out. Impact recalling. Yeon early buff cancer step into front on a level 6. Yeon still playing with confidence here.
And so since they're up here top, this means naturally they get to have like control of the wave.
Doesn't look like you're gonna try and look for a steal.
Okay.
Ooh,
That's
that's rough.
Have to smite that one. I feel bad.
It looks like Canna ended up TPing bot.
You are also trading a dragon. Like, you know that dragon
They did get the drag, which is very common for KC. I mean, they've always put higher priority on the drags. And for Xin Zhao, I mean, he definitely could just bait and like get a buy and run to grub still, which is probably what most teams would do at this point. Like just take your base, run to grubs. Your bot lane plays late. Canna is like perfectly fine. He's full HP. And he can TP back for the grubs if you really wanted to. You really could play for it that way. But Impact TP's bot, so now you're not going to do that. And then imagine if Xin Zhao is here. Because like when this guy like does this, imagine if Xin Zhao. I mean, it's definitely playable. I mean, the wave is not set well enough on top yet. It's just they have Talia move, which is the only like annoying thing. Better items on mid too.
He has smite available.
And the only reason why TL walks up to do it is because they have the pink on drag, which is good. I mean, having like wards on objectives is always ideal.
Yike now trying to follow. When it comes lane plus flash available, but he won't use it. So Vladi using his ultimate just for a chunk out there. Can start to pressure more, but APA Patience does manage to walk away. And it's tense.
This is also a little noxious because Nocturne, after doing this, knowing that like Xin Zhao's showing here, and then Ari even used her R to initiate, Nocturne knows he's like pretty safe to just invade the top jungle, and now the enemy dual lane is like stuck with the jungle on that side.
Feels like it could be the game defining.
Well, a big reason for that is the composition that we ended up with.
But it looks like they're going to do a base.
There's so many more outs for KC later on, but not so much for TL. Umti does still wait that red buff for himself and gets to level 6 on Nocturne. Immediately recalls and heads out towards the bottom side of the map, though. Yeah,
so he actually does the base instead of pushing for the Krugs. I guess if he pushes for the Krugs, knowing that Xin Zhao's going to base in the right line, he's worried that he's going to get collapsed. And APA has the base. If APA did not have the base, I think he probably could have played for it, but he just doesn't have the confidence. So now he's just going to clear bot to top. Unless there's a play that happens on the Gnar, which he'll take. And yeah, Caliste is playing pretty good Zeri game. Pretty good Zeri game. Literally, he made one mistake and that was it. Yeah, they're doing good. It's kind of obnoxious that Xin Zhao shows up now, I'm not gonna lie. But I also get it. It's just, man, they need wards or something, or like he needs to go mid here and play up on this wave.
Level 6.
And that'd probably be more beneficial in many ways, because if he's in belief that, like, yeah, Nocturne could be looking top, he could be.
Now trying to make it out.
But you just don't know what Nocturne's doing, so now you feel like you're wasting a lot of time as Yike. Like, he has to make a decision to, do I attack mid?
Yeah, as I was saying,
do I attack top? Like, it's just, he doesn't really have a great idea on what to do in this moment. And it might require him to just tell his bot lane, like, look, save your E, hold your flash, be ready to go over the wall if he Rs you, and they'll be fine. Like, that's kind of like how they have to play it. Like, they need to put a lot of trust in Caliste to just Caliste and Targ to handle a Nocturne part. Because if you notice again, like, he's done 2 camps. They get this guy's flash, like, cool, that's fine. Like, probably could have done that. No, I mean, they need to use RER for it though, but maybe you could have done it sooner than this.
Yeah, Umti does have
ended up for a minute 30 before grubs. So the timing, like, is good. Like, getting the flash timing is good. Yeah, I mean, like, TL has a read on this, but personally, I feel like it's not worth it.
They didn't expect him to come back.
Full committing here. Wall build to park.
Like, even if the wall was good, this guy's never gonna die. And you know that the Xin is here. This is such a weird play by TL. It's like, what do you get for doing this? Like, he's already here, and they have flash. If you get the flash, your Nocturne is not going to be up for the grubs, so you just lose the grubs off this play top. What is Umti thinking? It's just a bad play. Like, Umti, just do your camps. Like, you're literally ahead. Yike is like super screwed in how this game's going. Wow. Did he have to flash?
Gets the channel on the flash. I think the extension
Does he think Nocturne's here?
Appearing there.
It's double rough. APA.
I mean, in theory...
Also, I think Umti otherwise gets the channel on the flash.
In theory, Nocturne could be walking up. Like, Lucian will start R'ing. And it could, I mean, yeah. Wow, does he die? Holy fuck, he might die. Okay, he was right to flash. I guess he had the flash over the wall. Yeah, okay, because I was thinking to myself, I wonder if this guy actually can get caught here.
Communication there from the TL side, but
Oh. That's unlucky.
Yike trying to split core might go down, but Yeon likely to keep his life.
Oh my god, it's a tragedy! It's a tragedy! Oh no!
We also had Core using his. That means that the potential now for Vladi, who yes, doesn't have
Well fucking played by Core. For Vladi, it's more like you probably should not even walk in that area in the first place, just on the off chance. But I get, I mean, it's like it's not like the worst of like plays. I mean, like Lucian did have to burn flash to like finish it out. And the grubs are still like up the play for, so the timing wasn't like the worst to die either. And they get the grubs, so I mean, benefit to them. In the end of the day, no flash on Lucian, no flash on Taliyah. Like this is a good drag to play for. Like Canna's on Triforce. Did he have the TP top? Absolutely fucking not. No. Even if he loses minions, he should not TP top. Like, to me, saving that TP for the dragon fight makes so much more sense. Because, dude, 4 flashes are down. 4 flashes are down. Don't you want to, like, play into this? Like, RER. Mega... I mean, obviously, like, he's always going to have this, right? Like, the Zendar is back up. These are basically back up. Like, do it. What are they gonna do? Like, what are they actually gonna do? Like, this guy doesn't even have this, so, like, he has way less threat than usual. This tells me that we're not fighting for drag. If he's TPing top, we're not fighting for drag. That's how that makes me feel. This is so overforced. These morons, dude, these morons are so overforced. What on earth are they doing? Like, to me, like I said, I feel like this is just, you're not doing this if your Gnar is not going to be like playing for this. And yeah, Core has no flash. You do get one person, but do they know Taliyah's in here?
These fights, especially against so many switching closer and closer, make it credit. Second objective for KC. Neither side is playing any of the defeats. 1 kill to 1, no towers falling, just the 2.
Oh, they know Taliyah shifted. They know that Taliyah can just be hiding. So if Taliyah's hiding, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna force it through mid? Okay, if you're forcing it through mid, like, how you face check? Okay, Yumi Q. Like, we just blind RER in. The Lucian, like, has to be pushed out by Zeri, which is that's what he's doing. And okay, so you got the Nocturne R. Okay, so we still don't have to actually fully commit. That's it. Back off. That's it. No Nocturne R. Okay, that's not the worst. Not the worst. I mean, we used Yumi R. We used RER, but we can still play for the fight like after it all, because their pull is awful. Like, without Nocturne R, like, they have to play heavily around the Lucian poke. We go in. Like, we go in. Can't see Lucian. Really good Nami R. And they time it exactly on the Ahri, who has no flash. And naturally, he's fucked. I mean, maybe the play is that he just needs the R to the left. But also, like, he couldn't see anything, so he didn't know if the Lucian was just like waiting there to pop him. So he went forward. He dies. Nice W. Nice W by APA. And they all die. And now it's just a huge tragedy because, honestly, KC were winning. like KC had, that was such a good fight opportunity for KC.
For Team Liquid. Dracos, they have at least just saved their mid game here. That's gonna be the Dragon. They push out on both mid wave and bottom.
And now
wave.
they lose the
That's when
drag.
need it. Team
They
Liquid
lost
finds
four,
a saving grace. This
four
was a
dead.
healing Nocturne ultimate.
Drag
Takes
is
it off,
gone.
And KC dive forward anyway.
It's such a risk because both Nami and Talia in these choke points are such a nuisance, right? Even if getting used early, not able to actually get on top of them. Umti, meanwhile, is making use of the chaos that the attempted engage creates to just
Man,
freely
dude, they just played too fast.
And now the gold looking completely different. 2K lead here for TL. And
I mean,
KC still
the
being trained
error
by
is
C,
on
but they're
Vladi in the
one.
first place. I don't think Vladi should just like R the way he did.
As you're kiting back,
I think you have better poking tools. But even after the fact that he R'd and even used UVR, Yike just kept going in, and it's like, oh, dude, you can't. You can't. Look where your teammates are.
Yeah, they're still going to be very worried about later Uni and Zeri problem and try to actually lock them down, because as we said, like they can get away from a Nocturne if you brute force it, but if you can try and create some sort of situation with the engage and the setup towards it, then maybe a better hope. And the flash is down now. The key here for Team Liquid, a lot of this money onto the Talia and the Nocturne, the two most mobile champions here for the team. They can try and move that money around the map for themselves.
There was also the fact that Caliste flashed to try and salvage play at the end there. No flash on the Zeri is actually a big deal, even with all the safety that she has. It means that players like Umti flashing forward with a fear are going to be a lot of a bigger issue. And we have now hit the collector power spike, and as we can see, Yeon is just going in, shoving in waves. And we've now reached the point that Caliste is only sitting on Yuntal, doesn't really get to match. Have to be respectful, and we'll see if TL is able to turn this into a lot of objectives, because the one downside for KC is who actually face checks, right? Because obviously Yike is okay.
Keep in mind, this is not.
On the way.
Burst, but he's close to mega.
This is not a bot dip. Like, so just like the
Just chipping out the opposition.
for TL, just like the game 2 where like Caliste's like scoreline was worse or was better than Yeon. He played worse than Yeon. This game, Caliste is playing better, and so is Targ. So right now, KC has a top diff, a bot diff, and the mid was like kind of even. Honestly, Talia is a very good pick for APA because he could just turbo push, which is really obnoxious. But their side lanes really handle things. Canna's too fucking good. Canna individually, playing individually, is just the best player. Easily on this team. It's not even close. Like, he is just very clearly the best individual player. The downside is I don't really like some of the macro decisions that Canna's been doing. Like, they haven't been team-oriented enough, and it's just kind of lame because I feel like, dude, you're getting such self-advantage, and it's not being used like at all. It's not being used the right way. And unlike the other games, this game, like, his team could use it again. Well, I mean, like the first game, he could use it again.
Objective started by the rest of the team, so this should just be an easy herald pickup. KC backing away.
Yeah, that objective one right there by Yeon. He chunks out Caliste, and then they're able to finish off a big chunk onto Yike as well, so they don't get any kills, but they do take enough health bars to earn themselves a Rift Arrow, which is critical in pushing the timeline of this game forward. Using that Rift Arrow to knock down these outer turrets is critical for this team that needs to make use of Nocturne Ultimate and Talia picks.
I do think that the Nocturne gives this combo a lot more longevity than otherwise will, because of how much more capability of finding flanks, right? If you do get on top of the backline, as strong as the Zeri unique combo is, I do think with how far behind Yike and Vladi are, there's going to be a
So
lot
the
of
problem that's happening in this game at this point is, even though the Lucian Nami are definitely not like in the best of what the fuck? I mean, they got the drag, but they start the drag without any mid control, so they're trying to burst it.
There's going to be a lot of burst damage lacking that otherwise might have been there, and Canna, his sliding pressure isn't going to be quite as
This is just such an awkward timing by AC to try to do the drag. But I gotta hand it. I mean, like, Caliste was like manning up because he knew Lucian had no mana, so there's really no pull on them. It's just unfortunately the Sante walks up while these guys are trying to finish out this drag, and it's just it is what it is. I mean, that's just off your decision to burn the drag. That's it.
I'm pretty sure that's a win for KC. Yes, in terms of gold, it's rough, but I'm pretty sure that got them defeat because I think they were only a single objectives away, and then trading a kill for a dragon, I don't think is the end of the world.
Definitely not the end of the world. I would also say the feats themselves are not the end of the world, not the biggest deal as well, but certainly.
When TL got the feats, of course, they got defeated warfare earlier, and the tower was a tie side.
I take it back.
If they had defended top lane tier 1, that would have been a moment.
I do like the feint here, though, because it looks initially as if Team Liquid is going to go really hard on this play towards the middle of that, because you can even see the bot lane's trying to peel off, but instead find a turn on CI and get that kill.
And this is exactly what we were highlighting for what Team Liquid need to do in this game to make those transition plays with the Nocturne plus Talia movement. And Umti's like, you know what, I'm going to go in and try and get the smite steal. If I don't get it, I don't get it. It was a little bit late for the smite steal, but they still have the timing there with the Talia wall to section off the extra kick.
The rest of UC, all he clears away, starts to trade more, but isn't going to get much else.
Man, dude, I don't know, man.
They needed to, in case, while they do have that late game insurance option,
I don't know.
Too many picks going in the favor of TL. The play that they overforced on the bottom side of the river was making this game more difficult than maybe initially had to be. Is Yeon stepping up with the culling. I could body block a few bullets, but
I mean, he's fine. I mean, like, Zeri can always just get the heal from Yumi, so they're fine. But the Talia actually is kind of shredding the Ahri because he's just isolated. He's just isolated. And like I said, like the Talia is always involved in plays as well.
The extra defense here with these outer towers that are barely still standing.
Wait, get shunt. Ooh.
The damage come through both barrier, heal, and exhaust are available still, though, here for Caliste, so you're trying to give him a false sense of security. Holding on to this mid lane turret is so big, though. We'll see if KC can actually do it.
That coming into the shield. They're just killing the wave so quickly. That's the power of the rune in second.
So hard as well. You want to get this turret so badly again, because I think that once KC start giving up map,
I'm just trying to think how did, I mean, this is surprising. I'm surprised to see them two-man the Otacon. Honestly, I have not seen that really. Like, yeah, I do not usually see that. A two-man Otacon while three-manning the mid-wave. That's pretty interesting.
Which means they can rotate back over towards mid.
And once again, it's the team that has perma move on mid that just makes the game so obnoxious. So obnoxious. And I mean, it's just the common theme. Really, it's just the common theme that I've seen from, like I said, from playoffs and everything, that these guys can just do whatever the hell they want. They can always move around and protect vision. They can collapse on sides. And if enemy side lanes are not boosting mid, then you're trying to make a side play, right? But then, of course, it has to be the right timing, because if it's not, then their mid position collapses first. And if you overload on the side, and they don't buy it, then you lose mid. You know, it's just a bad situation to be in, despite your Zeri being up 30 CS. It's just a bad spot to be in.
Richest person in the game and 2 levels up on Vladi with all of the side lane play.
And Canna obviously going to be farming damage playing Gnar into the Cassante, but it's Yeon and Caliste that are at the top here already. And I expect that to not change as this game continues. It's a lot of damage. So again, wave still cleared. Maybe this.
Yeah, he's getting a hell of value though on mid. I mean, like I said, I mean, the Cassante is literally sacking his side, knowing that he can't get pushed over the Gnar, which is, you know, this is like a good point to make. Like, so in this case, he could have gone top to try to get like a little CS, right? But the wave is already like finishing out. So instead of going up there and kind of wasting time, he just sits mid. And this is something I've seen Keen do, and Keen still doesn't really drop a ton of CS, though in this case Impact is dropping a lot of CS. So he boosts mid so they can initiate. I'm not going to initiate into Cassante, and Cassante is also their only tank, right? Like he's they have one tank. So when he's protecting these guys, they can play forward. These guys can't do shit about that. So, and then Talia's getting to eat. Like Talia's eating really good. And the Ahri feels like she needs to be the one to answer. So the Gnar is the one who's just pushing side. But honestly, an Ahri that has no gold, that's so bad. That's so bad. That's not good news, because he's your solo AP. I mean, yeah, like Targ is gonna add some AP to your comp, right? But he's your solo AP, and like he just isn't in a position to do anything.
To not change,
so I really, and then of course Nocturne, you know, Nocturne's R range is like pretty high. Talia, R range, pretty high. So they have like, these guys don't show the jungle mid, like they don't always have to be showing, and they can still be answering and helping. Canna loses his flash. He loses his flash right before drag, and he pops his Mega Gnar. Like, at this point, if I was him, should he not just back off? Like, when he sees his rage building, is it actually good to finish this out? Because his Mega Gnar is gone. So should TL just start the drag? Like, no Mega Gnar. Should they start it? Unfortunately, to be honest, low-key, if the Nocturne was with the rest of them, they could have actually instantly started it. And it would have been a problem for KC. Like, he wants to fish for this, but I think it's improper. I feel like if they can actually read that his Mega's gonna pop, and like Nocturne's already heading this way, yeah, they're gonna start it. Look at the vision. Good vision. You have a good poke comp. So you can poke them as they enter. This guy is super low. Like, everything screams to me, don't go top. as for Umti, but he goes top,
And he's doing it so well
which is
so
an
far.
error.
They
It's
actually
bad.
are gonna go for Canna here. Canna
It's
doesn't have
definitely
hand
bad. Yeah, it's definitely bad. So these guys are trying to burn it off that knowledge of Nocturne showing. Like they're saying, look, we're never gonna get a chance. But it's not worth throwing the game over, is it? I mean, they will contest you. Like, they for sure will contest you.
Nice flick over the wall means Vladi's chunk before the fight even starts, but AP is
Also,
not
the Ari got hard chunk.
Too aggressive before the spike on your Zeri. Free items not quite there
Did he
yet.
get debated? Oh god, he's trying to look for a flank, but APA was actually sitting there ready to fuck with him. And also APA is on this flank because he wants to R. So APA's positioning is actually stellar. It's actually stellar. It's
too aggressive
really ideal.
on your Zeri. Free items not quite there yet.
Ugh, that's so rough. Fuck, that's so rough. So it's actually low. Oh wait, but APA doesn't have R.
Going to Crocs. Well, yeah.
Dragons up, don't overchase.
He doesn't even have R. So that's
that's
weird.
Don't think you need to play too
So he's just protecting flank. Okay, so he's protecting the flank from anyone walking around. And this guy so happened to just poke his nose. So it's still good positioning, but not as crazy as I thought it was going to be.
Now going in, trying to lock up the Lucian Knight. AP is not in a great position. Might be forced to use his ult. Could come down to the 50-50. Yike.
I mean, who the fuck's going to answer you, bro? Our Mara doesn't even have Mega yet. Hello? Dude, our Ari's half HP. What are you doing? Oh, Yike. Yike has some really terrible engages. Kills himself. The Ari just dies. Unfortunately for Caliste, what's he gonna do?
Now the exhaust going in. Caliste has to make the difference. Has to take down Yeon, but he is not enough. Even with the cam out, goes back and manages to
I mean, I get what he was doing, to be honest.
The unstoppable there. Now the exhaust going in. Caliste has to make the difference. Has to take down Yeon, but
I don't think he should have flashed for that. That was bad. Honestly, for the way they're playing out, and he has heal. We get the heal. You start DPSing this guy. He does have flash though, so if you get tethered, you're pretty fucked. Don't have cleanse.
But he is not enough.
I'm trying to see if Caliste actually could do it. Okay, there's an interesting play here, but I think it's bad. He needs to know if this guy feared anyone. He was fleeing. Ooh, you know what? Yeah, he's fleeing. He can see that now. If he was, but there's no way he's paying attention to it, I don't think. Because if he knew Nocturne did not have E, which he doesn't right now, he actually, like, because look at what the Nami does. So the Nami uses Q, right? Imagine if he E's this way, just goes for this guy and goes for this guy. She has nothing. Like, her Q's gone. The only thing she can do is press W and E, and Nocturne has no E. He should pump here, or here. He could do it. He actually could do it. Okay, like, Caliste could at least kill 2 people, at the very least. In this case. If he... Because why did he pump on Core? He shouldn't. It makes no sense, especially if Hurricane. If you have Hurricane, you're going to hit all of them.
Now the exhaust going in. Has to make
and you don't have E anymore, so it's not like you're going to be able to do shit. And this guy's exhausted still. And he doesn't have Flash. So you actually probably could kill him, and then Yeon's going to go on you. You're going to Flash maybe downward. You're trying to play for your E, buy time for your E to go over the wall. And that actually pushes you to Canna. But I don't know if Kanna's going to help you at all at this point. Did Canna do the right thing? Now they Canna should eat that way. Low key, he needs to just E left. Like, Canna needs to say, fuck this, go on this. If they burst you, whatever, Zeri will go, and this is your best shot. But I will say, Caliste actually could have carried that more.
Assassinating Ahri, and TL gets a big early lead in the fight. Front take it through. The pressure that KC are doing here. They can that's the thing, so points. It was just for a second dragon. The chunks come through, and the fight is so segmented. Right, the pipeline is there. We immediately chase out both Vladi on the turn. Wasn't very immediately. There was the rest of the chain. And you need to be so quick if you want that turn to work. Right? I think that, in my opinion, going for the find the first was again with the chunks they were just let out a dragon. Because the engage is actually that good. On TL, there's no wall being set, but might be the play to break the game. Finally, 25 minutes in. Against longer range champions who struggle to deal a lot of damage. We also still damage. Because definitely far behind. You jump into illusion. He's like, yes, please, sir. Let's go. So much more power on that turn. Scoring the game. Now Vladi forced to jump away from that easy. Yeon retains his illusion license.
Comp's not as bad as I thought.
It's kind of crazy. We're so used to it. Like, it's been beaten into us.
It's a little, like, I feel like it's a little wonky. Like, I'm not like 100% certain on like the joys of KC's comp, but God, I mean, you just need the Gnar to do stuff. I guess that's really it. I mean, like, if the Gnar was more involved in actually contributing, this game would feel way better. Because he did get his advantage again. Vladi did get outplayed a couple times as well, which, I mean, obviously the Ahri being behind, like, I mean, that really dampens your ability to, like, just make strong plays.
They're not focusing their damage on the objective. It's going to take some time. Caliste starting to poke, starting to harass. The Baron doing a decent amount of damage back. They know no jungler's there. It's not a 50-50, but Vladi goes in. Nice dash back. Coming through from Yeon. Clutch in the moment. 4K. They're getting lower, though. They can't afford to stick around with Caliste right on top.
He does not want to tank this Baron. Oh, fuck, dude. So I just want to state right now, this Baron that they're doing, this is the spookiest Baron in the game. When you see the Baron that has the two openings like this, this Baron pumps. This Baron does a ton of damage to you, and you're gonna just watch how much damage it actually does in these situations.
That one barely misses.
TP coming in, Vladi on the way.
It's gonna be so hard. Vladi needs to find a hero play, or Caliste needs to go crazy, but it doesn't have IE just yet. That's such a big spike for the Zeri.
Taking steady damage. And look what happens when Caliste takes aggro.
They're not focusing their damage on the objective. It's going to take some time.
Ouch.
Starting to poke, starting to harass.
Very spooky. Yeon's taking damage from Baron again. Now look what happens when they leave. Look at the damage that Caliste takes from Baron.
They can't afford to stick around with Caliste right on top of them. They need
Ouch.
to burn down the champion. Huge shot from APA. Afford to stick around with Caliste right on top of them.
Now, of course, he is getting hit by something else, right? But like, he's still taking like at least 100 plus damage from Baron, which he doesn't really think about. Now this guy's gonna run for Baron again. Overall, yeah, very spooky Baron. Good job by Caliste still to navigate the fight. But I feel like again, once he pushes him out here, just back off. That's it. Let it regenerate. That's a win.
I think they just get completely.
That's literally a win.
That moment right there almost gets the turnaround. And I can be really happy that the Baron reset because it doesn't reset the get Baron. And then KC, that lead doesn't mean you're anymore. There's no exhaust, there's no heal for Caliste. He has flash, he has IE, he is still trying to activate your but there's a window here. Maybe for him to force a fight, big problem though for KC with the rest of the team to say that is that TL can very lightly put all the resources taken out of it. How far behind Vladi and Yike are. They're not the only thing that's good.
The mid game has been so massive 14 liquid that Umti has a jungle level lead of 4 levels here over Yike.
I mean, people like will say like he got Flame Horizon. To be honest, it was Yike's issue. Like, Yike couldn't figure out how to navigate some of these situations, and obviously, you know, the Flame Horizon comes through with the fact that his team is just behind against a clearing jungler. I mean, that's naturally going to happen.
They get their kill once again.
Baron power play. I mean, they finally got Baron. I mean, it's been a pretty it's been a steady game. It's a steady game. TL's been in control, like, for the most part. And I get that Yike's looking for options, but it's just kind of... Wow. That was a lot of damage.
Instantly one pop. Yeon, 4 items, makes the Zeri disappear.
It's been a while since I really just love Caliste Nami this much, Kratos. It's been beautiful.
We kept talking about the IE for Caliste. Thereby completely ignoring the fact that Yeon just finished.
That was a lot of damage.
But I think it was a one soul center off the
Anyway, the scaling was not enough. Zeri, not enough. T1 for the first few minutes. They put their foot on the gas, and they never stopped in this game 3. Casey, one last desperate hold. TL don't want to get over eager.
Oh my god!
One pop at Vladi.
The damage is so fucking funny for this.
Isolated once again. Nothing taking time with the ult. They want KC to remember this moment. Caliste might be able to force a fight, but he cannot stop the Nexus from falling. TL.
So, MVP of this game, dude. By the way, I was right. As usual, he's put in a bad matchup. Look at this shit. He's still doing more. This is the number one thing about him. He may do worse in lane at times, but he's still going to do something in the game. He will always do something in the game. That's why impact is good. Other top laners can get a self-advantage. They can show and stretch their arms and be like, man, look how good I am. Yeah, but did you actually do anything? Like, did you actually contribute to the win outside of that? No. So, obviously, the worst player of the game. What's two? Honestly. Because Vladi did not have a good game. He did not. And Yike also had a pretty bad game. So, it's like both of them. So, MVP. I really want to put, like, Umti or APA. Like, I know the bot lane, like, in the end turned out, but, like, they did lose. I mean, they literally did, like, this is okay good by them in the end. He did good. He did good. I mean, you could even, like, I don't know if I feel confident in doing double check marks, but, like, they... I've never done this before. He did bad. He did bad. This was great. This is great. This is good. This is bad. Or you can say, okay, bad because of the laning, right? But they didn't outcompete their bot lane, the enemy bot lane. I mean, a lot of it just comes to the fact that, like, APA's ahead, Umti's ahead, and they always, and, like, Casante's moving for you, who's sacking himself for you, and you get to play the way you want to play. They did well in the end. I mean, they did push and actually use what they are from their teammates' helps, right? Like, that's the good part from them. But they did lose. So, I will say, out of watching this series, it really is just the macro. I mean, KC are very capable of competing mechanically versus TL. Especially because now we got to see a bot lane matchup where they actually competed against them, right? Like, it wasn't like the other two games where, like, it was just clearly a diff. Like, finally, we got a game where they won. And obviously, APA on the right pick can compete against Vladi, which is expected. I mean, like, if TL was, like capable of taking T1 to 5 games, right? It was T1, right? I'm pretty sure APA is capable of taking Vladi the distance. And Umti is not like some insane jungler by any means. So, yeah, it's a very doable series for KC. If they had better macro, which they don't. And that's been their problem. Honestly, that's just been their problem. Like, watching them in LEC, and my expectations going in, and which everyone's expectations should have been, is the best aspect that these guys have going for them is that they are mechanically good, and they can play out lanes. That is the best thing about them. If you play the lanes well, yeah, of course, the game's going to go easier, right? When the game goes to shit, how often do they come back? I'm actually genuinely curious to know how often do they come back when the game goes to shit. Are they able to get big comebacks, or do they kind of just falter apart? I might have to look into that, honestly. We'll see. But I am done watching this game. The longest video I've done in a while. Thanks for watching. Until next time.